I'm Robin Black, and it's all about healing podcast. Today we have a special guest with us, Tony. She's going to talk to us today about financial literacy. Tony, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. This is one of the topics that is very, very hard for a lot of people to understand, sometimes myself included. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
So with my brand, we do everything related to business. We do the helping of business structuring, business funding, making sure everything with your business is properly in order. We also do um, credit, personal credit. We also do pretty much anything with financial. We take care of it.
Okay. And what got you into this?
So originally, what got me into it was me fixing my own credit
Mhm,
back in 2016. So
mhm.
once I mastered that, I wanted to help other people. So then I started my own business, my own credit repair business. So
Mhm.
I wanted to do something more, like add more value to my business. So I stepped into the business funding side of everything. So that took off for me. So now I more so stay on the business side than the personal side.
Okay. So you help others fund their businesses.
Right, correct.
And is that like small business funding or just like what type is that?
It's small business funding. It's pretty much, I mean, I've gotten businesses approved for over 100K. So it just depends on, what you're looking for. We do grants. I have a grant writer. So anything that can get you funding, we help with.
And can you, I honestly am interested in that myself. Can you explain to me how that works as far as the grant writing when you're trying to write a grant for your business? What does that entail?
So more so the main part about it is the research, right? That's the
Mhm.
strenuous side of it. But once you do the research, you have to get your proposal together. You have to know what you're bidding on. You have to basically, it's just like the structure of your business. You just want to make sure you have your proposal, you have your business plan together. You want to make sure that within your business plan you're explaining what are you going to do with this money, why do you need this money, what advancement is it going to put your business in. So it's just more so of just a lot of explaining to whoever you're sending the grant to. But it's not hard. Like I said, we have a grant writer. She's amazing, amazing, amazing. So you know
Wow. So is that like a service? So do we would pay the grant writer and then the grant writer would then again write us so
So
we
we
could
have a
try.
program, we have a business grant writing program. So say if
Okay.
you wanted us to do the research for you, and you wanted us to do the proposal pretty much A to Z, then you can get into that program. We will go through what you qualify for, what you're looking for, and then you will tell us okay, I have this grant for you. Do is that something that you're interested in? If you're interested in, then we'll get all the information together. And then, from there, we'll start doing the proposal and all of that. Before we submit, we give it back to the client, let them, kind of go over everything, see everything checks out, and then we submit it. So after that, the waiting process can be a little long, but it just depends. Some come back within a couple of days, some take a couple of weeks. So it
Okay.
just you just have to be patient with it.
And then is it something that you are that they'll see what you're eligible for as far as how much that grant is, or
Yes,
is it just okay?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And are there several different websites? Like I know there's a lot of grant websites out here. Are they trustworthy? Are they legitimate? Like
So the ones that we use are
Mhm.
trustworthy. And
Okay.
then with our grant program, we also assist with giving you SAM registered. Also, we assist with like if you're a woman-owned business, if you're a minority-owned business, we get you all set up for all of that within the grant writing process. Because once you start getting grants and everything, and you get registered with SAM, now you can start moving into government contracts, which is going to
Okay.
give you more money for bigger contracts, right? So we put all of that into one program to be able to help you leverage the maximum for your grant money and, the funding that you need for your business.
So tell me a little bit about the government contracts. I don't understand that. What is that
So
stuff?
basically, like the government contracts, so you can go in and put a bid on, say the government wants paper clips, right?
Mhm.
You can put a bid in. If you win that bid, basically it's just like a grant. You have to tell them, what your business does, how often you're available to be able to supply what they need, what your bid is going, like if they're asking, if you put in a bid and say, okay, I'm going to put a bid in for, I'm just going to throw a number out there, 200,000, right?
Mhm.
If they approve you for that bid and you get it, you have to be able to supply for that contract. For some are a month, some are for 6 months, some are for a year, some are for 2 years. So for
Right.
that contract time, you have to be, basically you're making the government your client.
Okay. So
So
you
you
got to
have,
fill that 200 grand.
right, right,
Okay. Okay.
right.
Wow.
Mhm.
So what if somebody wanted to, so as far as like a business, if they wanted to hire someone that was kind of commission based, like, oh, I can't pay you until I start getting paid,
Mhm.
could that be something you could incorporate with government contracting?
Um, yeah, I mean, you can.
Hmm.
However, like most people get their money up front, but
Hmm.
there's some, there are, I mean, you can do it the commission based way. Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But I just know that that's a question that I was asked,
Right.
and I never knew the answer to it.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
um, as far as, oh man, I forgot my question. What are some of the, what suggestions, I guess, would you have for others out here who are struggling with financial literacy? Like, where can they start as far as getting on track of things?
So if we're on the business side, just start, right? Just start.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that your business is structured properly. So
Mhm.
we call it the divine nine, right? So you want to make
Yeah.
sure that you have everything to start the business, which is like your your LLC, your EIN, your business website, landing page, your
Mhm.
professional business email. You want a telephone number attached to your business that is not attached to your personal phone number. You want to
Mhm.
get your business bank account. And then, you just want to start building your paydex score, which is basically like your business TransUnion Equifax, right? So your
Right.
paydex score is for your business. So,
Mhm.
and a lot of people don't understand, you can have poor personal credit and start building your business profile up and then start working on the personal side, because as you're building and leveraging up your business, you can start working on your personal. But the thing I always tell my clients is start working on the business side, because that is what's going to, get you that funding that you need. The personal side, that we're going to work on that. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
But if you start,
Yeah.
if you start working on that business profile, structuring it, started adding your lines of credit, started doing like your net 30s, all of that. Because with that, it takes time for them to start reporting. So,
Mhm.
you want at least 3 to 5 lines of credit reporting to Dun and Bradstreet, so that can build
Mhm.
up your paydex score, because you want at least a 80 to 100 for the business to be able to stand on its own without you having to personal guarantee it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
ultimately the main goal is to have the business stand alone and keep it what separate from your personal.
Okay. And as far as a starting point, like what should be the first thing that someone should do to start building that business credit?
So the first thing I tell my clients to do is start adding lines of credit. So adding those lines of credit, which are like eCredible, NAV Boost, Red Spectrum, Biz Credit Central. You want to start
Mhm.
adding those to your profile. That way, it gives it time to start reporting, and then the longer that you have them, it makes your profile stronger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that. And then what's you said a DUNS number? What was that you said
Yes,
earlier?
so your Dun and Bradstreet number is like your
Yeah.
business social security number.
Okay.
So you
And what
definitely have to
exactly?
have that, especially for funding.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. And how does someone go about getting that number?
So you just go to dunandbradstreet.com and apply. It's free. Sometimes they'll give it to you right away, depending on what the business is. If it's considered like high risk, it might take them a little longer. But more than likely, they'll send you like an email with the number, or sometimes they'll mail it. It just depends. But usually it takes about 3 to 5 business days.
Okay. And then as soon as you get that number, then what?
Then I mean you can start building up your, like I said, working on the business profile.
Okay.
The main thing with your Dun and Bradstreet, like you don't use it too much until you start actually applying for like your American Express, your those kind of cards, or doing no doc loans or getting funding like that, right? Because that is what gives your business its identity.
Right. Okay.
So,
And then
mhm.
for these startup companies or these smaller businesses that don't
Mhm.
have any type of revenue coming in,
Right.
how do they get started?
So with new businesses, I just say work on at least net 30s, because with the net 30s, even if you start small, right? And you get $100 worth of toilet paper, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then you have 30 days to pay it back, right? I
Hmm.
always tell them at least try to pay it back 2 weeks early, but life, so sometimes you can't. But
Right.
at least start with a couple of net 30s, just start small, and then gradually start, or getting more and then adding more as you go. The thing about it, you don't have to add everything in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
It's a journey, it's a process. So you have to slow walk it, but you have to be consistent with it, right? So
Mhm.
I always say for startups, just start with net 30s and then work your way up into the trade lines, the lines of credit, and everything else, especially if you don't have the best of personal credit.
Right. And what exactly can you explain exactly what net 30 is?
So a net 30 is basically like a line of credit. So
Hmm.
I love Quill. I love Quill. Um,
Hmm.
so with Quill, like they give me I think I got like a 3,800 limit or something. So
Hmm.
with Quill, I ordered like $200. When I first started, I would order like $200 worth of stuff and then pay it back. And
Right.
then I would order another like $250 worth of, stuff and pay it back within those
Mhm.
30 days. So you just want to keep doing that, because every time you're paying on time, it's reporting on your Dun and Bradstreet. So it's building
Okay.
up that positive on time payment history for your business, which is allowing you to look credible, one, right? And it looks better when it's time for funding, and they look and see like, oh, okay, ooh, she pays early, like we like that, so it makes
Right.
it looks better for you. But like I said, start small and work your way up. Like, you don't have to do and rush and do everything in the beginning, because you will crash and burn.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely. So, what about for those who have applied for their Dun and Bradstreet number but
Mhm.
have done nothing with it, and it's been, I don't know, 3, 5 years? Like, what do they do if they haven't done anything? Are they able to go back in, or do they have to start all
Yes,
over?
your Dun and Bradstreet number never changes.
Hmm.
That is
But does
that.
it negatively affect someone if they haven't
No,
used it?
no, not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
It's just basically like your business social security number. So
Okay.
just like if, I'm a teenager and I've never used my social security number, right? It's not going to
Hmm.
affect me. It doesn't look good because I don't have, credit, or I don't have anything, on there, but it doesn't negatively affect your business.
So you said it's like your business social security number. So it's something also added to the EIN number as well, the Dun and Bradstreet number.
So it's not added to it. It's a separate number, but it's
Hmm.
just like another identifier for your business.
Oh, okay, okay, I
Right, for
got you.
your specific business.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. So what would you suggest for the younger crowd, for like our young adults out here, as far as what they should start doing? You know what I mean? Because I know a lot of people, when they're in their late teens and early 20s, they don't think about credit, so they end up
Right.
messing it up. So what suggestions do you have?
I suggest always stay on the top of your credit. One, don't get out here, don't mess it up. Start saving, start investing. Invest small, like it doesn't take for you to get out here and start this big business. Start something small. Start a little vending machine business. Start, um there's so much different things that you can do as a teenager, especially like this day and age, that you can
Yeah.
turn into a business. So
Hmm.
definitely, start saving your money. Don't get out here just because you turn 18, getting cell phones and all kind of crazy stuff, because what you do now will definitely affect you later.
Absolutely. And what do you think? What, in your opinion, what are the best small business startups?
Ooh, I was for anyone or
Anyone? Yeah.
for anyone. Okay, definitely vending machines. I would say laundromats.
Hmm.
I would say car rentals.
Hmm.
Um, I would say dispatching, trucking. Um,
Hmm.
ooh, gosh, there's so many. But definitely, like, just if you want to get your feet wet, I would definitely say vending machines. Vending
Okay.
machines is a good startup.
Okay.
Hmm.
And as far as personal side of things, what would you suggest to be a good starting point for those who are struggling with their credit?
Well, first, I would definitely get an updated version of your credit report, see
Hmm.
what is on there, what's reporting, go through it, look at all of the inaccurate information on there, all of the old information, because all of that, that one is considered violations, right? So
Hmm.
that is what my team is what we dispute, to be able to get that information and those accounts off of your report, because everything on your credit report is supposed to match across the board. Nothing
Right.
should be off, even if you have an account on each bureau and one number is off, you can
Hmm.
dispute that, right? So
Yeah.
everything on your report has to match across the board.
Wow, that seems like a
Mhm.
lot. So your company does all of that for others, because a lot of
Yes,
people are like, no thanks. I'll just
yes,
tell them to do it. So
yes.
what is the name of your company?
It is Level Up Financial LLC.
Okay. All right. And how long have you been in business?
I've been in business now for 5 years.
Okay. Was that a hard startup for you?
It really wasn't because, like I said, when I started, I did my own credit. Like when I first started, I was whoa, like low 500s, right?
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
had literally had just went through a divorce, I went through bankruptcy, all of that, right?
Hmm.
So when I fixed my credit to what it is now, which is a 790,
Hmm.
and I knew like I can do it and I saw the results, I knew like I could help other people do this. So if
Right.
you have the passion for it and it's something that you enjoy, it won't be hard. Now it's not going to be easy as an
Right.
entrepreneur in itself, right?
Yeah.
But if you enjoy it and you really, have the passion for it, I definitely say it's worth the risk.
Okay. And then you say you were in the low 500. So how long
Mhm.
did it take for you to get to where you are now?
It took me about a year, because I
Hmm.
had so I had two bankruptcies. I got those removed. I had a lot of debt from when I had, went through my divorce and all of that. So it all in all took me about a year.
That's not bad. So then it took you for a
Yeah.
year to go from the low 500s to 790.
To where I
Oh,
am
yeah.
now, 790. Yes.
What? That is amazing. And that,
Mhm.
like, would can you do that personally as well? Like, I guess I could say if someone out here had a secure credit card and they
Mhm.
just kind of did the same thing business wise, but
Right.
personal wise, went and got
Mhm.
gas on this card or something. And then every
Mhm.
time they fill up, 30, $40, then they pay that
Right.
back, but pay it early.
Right.
And then just keep
Right.
doing that.
Right. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing about it, you just want to make sure your debt to income ratio is low,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Your credit utilization is low,
Mm-hmm.
and your hard inquiries.
Right.
You
Okay.
definitely don't want to run up your hard inquiries. And that's the thing. Like, I've had clients where they literally had like 50 hard inquiries, and I'm like, why? So those hard inquiries and
Mm-hmm.
late payments will destroy your credit, right? So I definitely, if you can make those on time payments, even if you have to call and like managements or whatever, try
Mm-hmm.
to avoid late payments, because
Okay.
that
And
will drop your score anywhere from 50 to 150 points on
dang, for a late
one,
payment.
just for one, right? So if you have multiple, like, yeah.
Right. And especially those student loans, right? My
Mhm.
goodness.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, man, 100 point. That's kind of throwing me off. I didn't know. I was like, I might not
Oh,
ever be
trust
late.
me,
I
I've
didn't
seen it
know.
happen, and it happens. So I'm definitely a living testimony of my work and going through the process myself. So
Mhm. Wow. And then, so, um, as far as the hard inquiries, that's basically like a car, a house, an apartment.
yes, anything that
Okay.
they have to run your social security number on, right? So what
Hmm.
I always like for my clients, if they're getting to the point where I get them where their credit score is at least at like a 680, 700. So now they're going to start applying for, like credit cards. I tell them
Yeah.
to do a pre-approval first, right? Because that's a
Hmm.
soft pull. So that's not going to
Okay.
show up as an inquiry. If you do the
Oh,
pre-approval and you don't get it, don't keep trying, right? Because
right.
those
Okay.
hard inquiries are the ones that really shoot keep bringing you down, that's why, like, if you go to a dealership, right, and you
Hmm.
tell them, I only want my you have to tell them, like, I only want my name to be ran this many times, right? Because if not,
Right.
you'll
Yeah.
see 10 hard inquiries.
Right. Yes.
Because they've
Absolutely.
rented from A to Z with
Yes.
so those are the kind of things that you have to be aware of, but a lot of people don't know that, so they don't know,
Yes.
right?
I remember they got me like that about 5 years ago, and I was mad. I was hot.
Right.
So, and as far as a soft pull, like you said, how much does that take your credit
None. Soft pulls do not affect your
down? Oh,
credit at all. That's why
okay.
if you can get like a pre-approval, or even if you go to a dealership, you can ask them, is it a hard pull or is it a soft? And
Right.
they'll tell you. And if it's a hard, then you let them know, I only want it to be ran this many times, right? Which I
Right.
say at least I wouldn't do like no more than like two or three, because
Hmm.
they're going to know by the first second time they run your report what you qualify for, right? So we don't have to
Yeah.
keep on trying to try, because
Yeah.
it's definitely going to make your hard inquiries go up. So just be mindful when you're applying for things, to if you can get do a pre-approval and get that soft pull first, then that's what I definitely recommend. Then keep racking up the hard inquiries.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And then as far as for those individuals who have bankruptcies on there, whether it be Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, are they
Mhm.
going to have a harder time with this, or how are you guys able to help with bankruptcies?
So doing it yourself, right? If you're
Mhm.
not familiar with your credit laws, or your consumer law, if you're not familiar, yes, it can get very tricky, right? It's
Mhm.
not a hard process, but you do have to stay consistent,
Yeah.
because you have to, you're communicating with the bankruptcy court, you're dealing with the attorney general, you're dealing with the CFPB, you're dealing with, there's numerous factors that goes along with it.
Dang, good night. So would it be better to do bankruptcy or like a debt consolidation, or is debt consolidation a waste time? Like what would you
To
suggest?
me, I feel, depending on the situation, right? If
Hmm.
you are like facing liens, judgments, all of this, and you have to do this right now, go with
Hmm.
the bankruptcy, because those can be removed. For one, it's illegal for them to even report that on your credit. So
Hmm.
those can be removed, right? But if your
Hmm.
debt isn't that much, then I would do the debt consolidation.
Hmm.
However, I still would go through my report and see what I could have removed off of my report, because then that will
Hmm.
open up your debt to income ratio. Now, however, that's
Right.
still your debt, right? You still have to pay it, but it's not reporting on your credit report, which is opening up your debt to income ratio, and it's shooting up your scores. So
Hmm.
it's kind of like a catch 22 with the consolidations. It just depends on your situation and what works best for you.
Yeah. So, and what would you consider a lot? Because you said it depends on if they don't have that much debt. What is considered not having that
Um,
much?
I would say, like, if it's under like 10,000,
Hmm.
just no, like I a lot of companies, like, if you call them and you do like a settlement, because they'll literally do a settlement with you for like a little bit of nothing, right? Because they don't
Right.
want to deal with it, just like we don't want to deal with it, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, anything like under, I say like 10,000, just if you can get like a settlement for it and
Mhm.
pay on those settlements just to be done with it, then that's fine. Now we start getting into 20, 40, 50, 60, 100K. Yes.
Right.
Now, depending again on the situation, because with the debt consolidation, you have either, I think it's like a biweekly or a monthly payment. So if you
Right.
can't afford already not paying your bills and everything else on time, you're not going to be able to afford that. So
Right.
your
Right.
next best thing to do is just to do a bankruptcy, be done with it, and start fresh and
Mhm.
clean and start over.
Yeah. And what about the individuals who are living in an apartment versus a home? If
Mhm.
they file bankruptcy, I mean, are they just pretty much tied in for the
No,
next 7 years?
No, if you're living
Mhm.
in an apartment, so with the bankruptcy, you can literally dictate what you put in that bankruptcy, right?
Mhm.
So if you are living in an apartment and you want to, continue to stay in that apartment, you don't have to add that debt into your bankruptcy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
and you can add whatever you want there, and then like any sets or anything like that, you don't have to add.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you're living in an apartment and you're wanting to move to a house within the next 3 to 6 months? Are you able to do that?
Yes. You're
Okay.
able to do that
Oh,
because
okay.
one, I definitely would, come see me.
Mhm.
So you can
Yeah.
get that bankruptcy removed, right? And then,
Uh-huh.
like I said, it usually takes, I say, anywhere to 30 to 90 days, depending on the credit agencies, right? So 30 to
Okay.
90 days, it could be gone. So therefore, now you're able to get that, approval for your new home. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't allow like a bankruptcy to stop you from moving forward.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. I like that. Because
Hmm.
what I hear most of the times, I think I had bankruptcy. I think, oh man, it was a long time ago. It was probably like, I feel like I'm showing my age, but I think it was probably like 15 or 16 years ago.
Okay.
Um, and I was told back then that, hey, you got to wait 7 years before you can get a new car, before you can get a
Mm-mm.
new house. So
No.
that's not even the case at all.
No.
Wow.
No.
That is good. That is
Because the
really
thing
good.
about it,
'Cause
like now, you can literally do your bankruptcy, get it discharged, and next week you'll have
what?
Capital One, all kind of credit cards calling you, wanting you to sign up, wanting you to, do this. So that no, mm-mm.
Wow.
No,
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. I know a lot of people are like, good. I definitely needed that.
no, mm-mm.
So out of all, any advice that you can give to all the listeners, what would it be?
If you want to start a business, I say start the business, right? It's not going to be easy, but take the risk. Just stay consistent. The money and the clients will come, but just stay consistent. Make sure that whatever it is that you're wanting to do that you're passionate about, it's going to get hard, but it is so worth it in the end. And then always, always in everything that you do, put God first. So,
Absolutely.
consistency is the key. I cannot stress it enough because it does get hard. It gets very hard, but
Yes.
stay consistent.
Absolutely. I love that. And how can listeners get a hold of you?
So my Facebook handle is Antoinett, Antionett Beck /Doss. My Instagram is LLC Level Up Financial.
Mhm.
My TikTok is Tony Lachey, ToniLasha. My website is level up LLC.com.
Okay. And I'll also be putting all of those in the description box as well. So
Okay.
if you don't have anything else to add, that go ahead. That concludes the interview. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
No problem.
That
Thank
was,
you for having me.
yeah, that was very helpful. Very helpful. So but thank you again, everyone, for listening. Again, this is It's All About Healing podcast, and everyone stay blessed.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too.